Time a Texas Army veteran is calling out President Joe Biden for flip-flopping in his tone and addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. Take a listen.
I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm not going to shut down the country, but I'm going to shut down the virus.
Well, there is no federal solution.
Joining me now, Wesley Hunt. He's an Army veteran and a U.S. congressional candidate for the 38th District in the great state of Texas. Mr. Hunt, listen, I think I'm probably like most people. I want consistency in our leadership, and more importantly, I do want them to react to new information. But it seems to me this is a bridge too far for a lot of people. What say you?
Of course it is. And to date, since the Biden administration, we've had 2 million illegal immigrants enter our country. And if you ask me, we don't need a booster shot. We need a booster wall. Now, I recall a tweet from President Biden criticizing President Trump when we were at 200,000 deaths due to COVID. And right now we're sitting at over 400,000 deaths during his presidency. And last I checked, we have not seen his resignation. But we can all agree on one thing, and that this is actually a state's issue. It's not a federal issue. But there's a very different tone from candidate Biden to President Biden. And yet and still, he is still trying to enforce vaccine mandates at the federal level on small businesses. There's a constant contradiction, and the hypocrisy is nauseating.
Well, what's interesting, too, is you point out this attempt to federalize some of it, and yet the administration is now admitting there is no one-size-fits-all solution to this circumstance. And we had a conversation with a researcher yesterday, and she basically said, look, we're all going to have to, in one form or another, live with this. We have to learn to manage it better. When you look at what the administration is doing, in particular, you mentioned we have seen a massive number of individuals come over the border. And to say nothing of those who've been intercepted. Are they being tested? Are they being vaccinated? I mean, this is a real health crisis for the people in your state.
It most certainly is. And look, COVID is here to stay. But President Biden and Vice President Harris politicized this thing from the very beginning. If you recall, when they were running for president, when he was running for president, he said that they weren't going to take a vaccine if it originated from the Trump administration. So you wonder why people have vaccine hesitancy at this point. But you're absolutely right about illegal immigrants. We haven't tested them. They don't have mask mandates. They don't have vaccine mandates. So why would we expect more from our taxpaying American citizens than from people that are entering this country illegally? People are actually awake. This is why I'm running for United States Congress, to make sure that we take back the House and stop the bleeding and end this hypocrisy.
Wesley Hunt, a Texas congressional candidate from the Lone Star State. Let me ask you this. If there's an overarching message, I think a lot of people are obviously concerned about crime. They're concerned about the border. They're concerned about American sovereignty. There's so many ways you can go in your candidacy. If there's one issue that you want to hammer home as you try to convince the people in your state to support your candidacy for office, what would that be?
It's our Constitution. It's freedom. And there's a reason why the populations here in Texas and in Florida are growing exponentially, because people are actually flocking to states where they're allowed to make their own decisions, make their own choices about their health based on what their physician tells them to do, and also decide what's best for their children. What are we going to teach our children? And how are we going to continue to remain in a free state and abide by the greatest document ever created outside of the Bible, and that's our Constitution? And that's what I am running, and that's why I am running, to preserve that right for all of us and every taxpaying citizen here in this country.
U.S. congressional candidate for the great state of Texas. We appreciate you spending time with us. Wesley Hunt joining us today, a veteran trying to do his best to help his state. Best of luck to you. We appreciate your time.
God bless you. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you. Todd, back to you.